A large number of people think prompt engineering is the peak. And if they know that, it's enough for companies to value them, and a lot of people out there still call themselves prompt, engineers. I would say that is a very wrong move, but don't get me wrong here. Prompt engineering would continue to be a very valuable skill for maximizing AI utility. And based on how much time we've spent in layer one, out of the whole layer 5 in AI I plan on addressing here, you should understand the importance of prompt engineering by now. Prompting has made a huge turn since 2022, as this skill is being absorbed into other skills currently. And this is where we address the second layer, which I call automation. Now, one thing you need to take away from this whole thing is that prompting itself is to think, while automation is like doing something. That's what automation is. And basically, we spent 10 days teaching what AI has to say, how to say it, the constraints to put in place to ensure that whatever it says, goes in line very well with what we want to, in quotes, we want something to be deterministic rather than probabilistic, right? But today we're going to build a pipe that makes it say, it should do something automatically, and it should do it at the right time to the right person, even without you. So I'm Jude, and you can call me Nirvana. For over 4 years now, I've been helping agencies and startups to help them build their AI and help them also run their agents, help them build automations roundabout their whole system to ensure that operations go very well and to save time for them, basically. So, and I also help businesses that they work with as their AI automation specialist. And in the next 60 days, I'm going to explain to you, basically teach you the 5 layers of AI that I consider very important. And one thing, we finished layer 1 already. So I want to, welcome you to layer 2, basically. Now, what we're covering today is 2 things. The first one is what automation actually means. Not the marketing version of automation now. I mean the real version of automation. And I'm going to take you through the anatomy of make.com. And I'm going to show you scenarios, every single piece. I'm going to explain everything. And the third thing now, I'm going to show you how the layer 1 prompts that I've been working on for the past 10 days, how this fits into layer 2, like this module in a machine, basically. The first thing I'm going to address first is what automation actually means. Automation is not AI doing everything for you. Automation is connecting tools so that when someone does something or when something happens, something else has to happen automatically. So to explain better, a good example might be in plumbing. Now, okay, let's use plumbing now. The layer 1 prompt that we'll be working on all this while is more like the water inside a pipe. So that means we need a pipe in the first place to pass the water around, right? To pass it, to let it go to the right channel. And that is where make.com comes in. That is the pipe. And we can see make.com here, okay? And we can see make.com here. This is make.com. It's just basically a site you can go to at any time. So when we look at make.com, that is the pipe. There are 4 things I'm going to, address here very soon. And that is for you guys to know. They are just, okay, you know what, let me just stop here. So the trigger, that is when you think about a pipe now, you are turning the tap on, right? And you need to know that basically the water doesn't move itself. It basically needs a pipe, right? So that is where our layer 2 comes in. Because without layer 2, our layer 1 prompt is just like, we're just leaving it there. And we have to always carry it manually by going into ChatGPT or it's Claude or Gemini, whichever one we use, every single time before we're able to, get a response, before we're able to do anything. But with layer 2, the water gets to flow from the trigger to an action, and it's going to give you an output without even you touching the pipe every single time. Now, here are 4 things you need to know. And it will be very good if you can write this down somewhere or just note this down, basically. The first one is the scenario. The first one is the scenario, and that's the name for a complete automation in make.com. A scenario equals one connected flow, and that is it here. You can see this entire thing is a scenario. It's basically one connected flow where you are going to see every single thing you've built, right? And the next one is the trigger. That is the event that starts every single thing. An example, when a new form is being submitted, or probably a new email arrives, a new row is added to a spreadsheet, just something has to happen first. And the first thing that has to happen is what we call the trigger. That's a trigger, the first thing that comes in. An example that I'm using here is we get a form filled in Google Forms, and that is the trigger. When anyone fills that form, what happens? So that is what is going to trigger it. Someone filling the form basically is what's going to trigger it. Then the next thing I want you to know is a module. A module is a single step inside a scenario. So you can consider each box on the canvas, each box here, rather each circle here, each that we have here, we have our Google Forms first, then we have this Google Gemini AI, we have this, we have this. Each one is a module. Each one is a module. Now, the connection of multiple modules is a scenario. I mean, you can basically understand from how that is now. Now, this is a module itself, but this is a sign that, or it's mainly a mark that this is where the trigger is coming from. This is the first thing that makes the entire scenario plays. So, and each module can be a get email, can be run AI here, can be send message or update a CRM down here. Another thing you need to know, that's the third thing. Another thing you need to know, and that is the fourth thing, is a router. A router is based on what we've addressed in the layer one. I remember we addressed something which we call the if and then splinter. That is one of the constraints that we had, which if this happens, then this should happen, right? And this is exactly where the layer one conditional logic lives. And now we can see it virtually happens in layer two. Now, rather than you having to, on ChatGPT, or probably you're using any LLM out there, you have to prompt, okay, if this happens, then you should let this happen next. This time around, you don't need to prompt anything. You can see it happen in real life. So this is what we call a router. What happens here? A router lets you know if this is the first condition to take. If this happens, then this, if the condition that we want to satisfy here happens, then it passes here. If the condition we want to satisfy here instead happens, if else this time around, this happens, and this is also another else, right? This happens as well. So this is where we have our if, else, if, then. So now I'm going to walk you through this particular scenario that I built. This one, I actually built it for the B2B agency, the one I told you that I saved the founder 10 hours a week. This is an exact template of what I actually built for the person. Now we have 6 modules here. In total, we have 6 modules. The first module is what I already explained, which is the trigger. And I'm getting this trigger from Google Forms. So when a new form response is submitted, it comes here. When a new form response is submitted, it comes here. And that is our trigger, right? Then the next one is the tap. This is the brain of your entire automation. This is why you get to call it an AI automation, because you have an AI think inside this. And this is the module 2. This module 2 gets the data and it pulls the lead's name, the company, the email, the budget, and their message. To show you around the form, let me quickly go to forms so we can see, so we get to see a form real time. So we can see our form here, and the details we need from each person that fills in this form is their full name, their company name, their email address, and the budget as well. How much do they have for the particular project they want to walk through with us? And they get to choose one. And I made it required intentionally because this is one of the conditions that we need to actually run that scenario, to have it route to the right results, to the particular results we want. So here they get to pick something. So let me just fill this. For example, I'm going to use let me use this. Okay, I wasn't aware. So let me use this, Jude Olaboboye. Then I'm going to use, let's use Nirvana, and I'm going to use my email, and I'm going to pick a budget. Here's the budget I'm going to pick. I'm going to say this. So, and the message brief as well, which I just get to say, okay, I need this particular automation. All right, so I get to submit this. Once I submit that, I'm going to, let's run this once, and we get to see the submission in real time. Now we can see our answers here, email address. You can see email address here, where's my name here. So you can see that every single detail we submitted is coming through here, and that's my name here. So you get to understand that this is our trigger. Once this happens, once someone submits, we're going to get what? We're going to get a response here. So once that happens, the next thing that happens is this AI that we put in place. This is our brain. This is basically what I made mention of. So you can see that we can pass through every single details that we have here. We can pass it into this, so it gets to decide for us. Now we're not going to go through every single thing here, but this is to show you that this is the first trigger that takes place, and that's the module 1. For module 2, this AI is going to get the old data that has gotten from the form here. Is going to get it into the AI, and is going to decide which option is going to take. So this module 2 basically is the AI, and you can use, in this case I use Gemini, but you can use Claude, you can use ChatGPT. This is where your layer 1, basically the layer 1 we've been busy with all this while, this is where it lives. So we can see we can have every single thing in this place. It gets to decide for us, and it knows where to direct either any lead that comes in. It knows where to direct these leads. So the AI basically makes the decision for us this time around based on the details it's getting in. So this time around, we don't have to manually prompt AI and have it, okay, this is what the person says. What option should I give this person? This time around, it gets to decide itself and pass it through the right channel. So the next module, which is module 3, is the router. This router makes the decision. It tells it if the first option that we have here, let me use the first option we have here. It says if this person fits in with the category we want, then you should send the booking link to this person immediately. Then the second one also, the second option, if this person fits a very good category as well, but we have some questions we still need to ask this person, let the person get sent to the second one. And if this person probably doesn't fit in, or let me say the price is less, then I want you to pass it to our CRM and nurture this person over time. So this is basically what our automation is doing. It's handling every single thing we'll have done manually. It's handling it for us using this entire scenario. So basically we have the first one is the Gmail is going to tell the person, hi, based on what you shared, I want us to talk. Here's the booking link. So, and it's going to get sent within 60 seconds of the form submission. The second one basically says, okay, here's a quick question before we connect, and it qualifies the person this time around because we need more information from this person. And the third one, it adds the person to Notion, and it tags this person as nurture. So it's not going to contact this person immediately like the two. We're going to come back to this, but to basically let you understand what is going on here, we have 6 modules, 1 scenario, and this is going to run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, basically all through. Now, the result this gave me was that the founder I was working with, the person I first offered this to, initially had to do things manually, right? A lot of business owners out there, a lot of people out there have to do things manually, but this time around, this person already has a form filled, as a form on our website, that every single time, rather than having to manually check our emails to see if anyone filled this form or anything, this time around, this person just has to wake up and it gets with people already qualified. Some people booked for a call, and it asks the person more question if it needs more clarity on what the person wants, and maybe even nurture the person if the person doesn't fit in with the category of people we want. So this person doesn't have to do anything. This founder doesn't have to do anything. He just wakes up every single day, have all these things together. Either rather than having to manually do this thing herself, all she has to do, or probably sometimes some people hire an assistant for this, but this time around she just needs to put this in place, and every single time it helps her to qualify her leads. So right now, what I want you to do now, right now, before all this ends, is I want you to go to make.com. I want you to go to make.com and create a free account. You can create a free account, but don't book anything yet. You can create a free account, but don't build anything yet. I want you to just look at it. I want you to open a scenario builder here. Create a scenario. Once you are in, you are able to create your scenario. Now, I don't want you to build anything yet, but I want you to look through these apps here. I want you to look through these apps. I remember telling you to, watch a video on YouTube, getting started with AI automation.
Welcome to Make.
So you can see that for those that have watched it, it was just 7 minutes. You guys would have understand every single thing we're going to do in this particular layer. So this time around, you just have to create a scenario and check through all the apps here. I want you to notice every module that I used and search for these modules here. Probably it's your Gmail, it's let me see, Notion. I brought in Notion as well. I wanted to search through them. I also used the router, and I used Google Forms. Just anything. You can search for apps that you are more familiar with. It doesn't necessarily have to be the ones that I used in this video. And just don't connect them yet, but I just want you to go through it, because this is what I use, and this is what I'm going to use to teach you in the next 20 days. Focus on AI automation alone. Now, before we end today, I've been asked a couple of times now that why do I use make.com to teach and not Zapier or not anything. Here's the thing. These three are tools. There are many more out there, but these are the three most popular ones, right? And these are the tools that people talk about when it comes to automations. Zapier basically is simple. You can use it easily. I think I put some things together here about Zapier. So Zapier, you can, it's very simple to use. It's linear as well. Anything is powerful also, and it's developer friendly. It's developers first. Make.com has good visuals, which is what we are seeing right here. And it has an AI native tool as well. One thing you need to know about this is that a lot of people out there, they talk about all these apps and they're like, okay, I use this instead. So for some people out there, they've not been able to decide either to use make.com or to use anything. So what I did is I put together my unbiased thoughts about this, and you can check that right after this video. So personally, I use this to teach beginners, but for you to understand how these tools work and which one you are going to focus on in the nearest future, I will tell you to check out that video, because it's going to explain every single thing you need to know about these different tools. And just basically check that right after this video. So to close everything here, 10 days ago, we're working on layer 1, and I taught you how to communicate with AI, right? Now, in the next 10 days of layer 2 first, I'm going to teach you how to deploy AI, how to use it, how to work with it across your business, across whatever you're doing. Even if you're a student or you're a business owner, I'm going to explain to you. And I'm going to show you the difference between someone who prompts and someone who automates their workflow as well. And this is basically like, the difference between a consultant, which is someone who gives advice, from an engineer who builds a machine that gives the advice. You get, this is basically, the difference. So one thing I'll just, bring out there based on what we've been talking about is that one person needs to charge per hour, and the other person, gets to charge per system they build. So Basically, I want you to check on this. This is our resource guide once again. I'm going to put some things here for you to just, follow through today's tasks. And as you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure you're going to understand every single thing we've talked about so far. So the first we've addressed you can see now that we've addressed the first layer of AI and we're entering the second layer. Now, this second layer basically just understand the fact that this is not hard. Building automations or building AI automations are not hard. I initially thought it was very hard. One of the reasons why I even referred this video to you is so you get to see how simple they explained it here. And they might have even done, they might have even explained simpler than me. But there are many things we need to know. There are many things we need to understand about, about building AI. I mean, when you see this first, you start getting confused. So that's why I'm going to walk you guys through every single thing right from scratch. And I'm going to show you how to build your own automations on make.com. So to close this, tell you guys, I hope you guys are ready. So peace. Once again, we get to see